Welcome to the overview of the mental type. The mental type, this is my type, and it is the one I'm most intimately familiar with as myself. And we are the scientists. We are the understanders. We are the puzzle solvers. We are the people who take things apart, put them back together, and rearrange them. We have very high intelligence because we are always trying to understand everything. Every single thing we do is about understanding something else in our minds. Our energy is arranged mind first. Our mental body is the first one connected to our soul level self. And on the other end of our mental body is the physical. The physical body is our magnetism. Our physical body is how we call experiences to us. Physical outcomes are one of the easiest things that we can magnetize because into the physical is what we're magnetizing. But we process and we're guided by our minds. Our minds are our greatest superpower. We have knowings and understandings seemingly out of nowhere. We get information and we understand it, and it solves a puzzle that we've been asking, and we just get it. We are the mentals. Our biggest trigger as a mental is when somebody tells us that we're wrong, especially if we've already taken it apart and put it back together, because we understand it. We understand it and we understand it, therefore it's true for us. And our truth in our understanding is who we are. And when somebody tells us we're wrong, we don't know something, we take that as a direct hit that you're saying not you're wrong about this information, but you're wrong for you, because who we are is our minds. As children, we were the ones who took things apart and put them back together. We had our heads in a book. We were always figuring things out. We were always trying to understand something about the world, about how things are put together, whether it was putting together furniture, taking appliances apart, building computers, we were understanding something. We are very logical, analytical, and generally very linear thinkers because our minds need to make sense to us. Our biggest challenge as a mental is usually within our emotional and our spiritual state. Emotions are challenging for a mental because it's one of the energy types that has the quietest emotions on the outside. Our emotions aren't in our bodies in the same way. Our emotions are, well, in our minds. We think them. I can't tell you how many times I've said to people, I don't feel my emotions, I think them. I know they're there. I can feel them. I experience them, but I'm thinking them, I'm knowing them, and I'm trying to understand them. I'm trying to understand why I'm feeling this way and what part of my experience this relates to. And I'm using it as a data point, like a scientist, as I'm experiencing them. And I can't feel my feelings and just be in them because they're not me. My mind is me. And so it's challenging for a mental when, especially if you're a mental that's female and you're taught to be in your feminine, you must be in your feelings because that's not how we work. And a spiritual connection is a challenge for a mental if you are not brought up with an understanding that the spirit world was real. You may have an agnostic or completely atheist view, and the spiritual realm will be very disconnected because if it's not understood in a scientific way on this realm, then you may completely discount that information. And so our challenge is to reconnect those things and to understand the data points that are available for all energy bodies. Our guidance system as a mental is our minds, our knowings, our gut feelings that come from our minds, not our bodies, our minds. Our minds know what's true and what's not true. Our minds know before anybody else because it's one of the fastest sets of information to come through and to process. Our minds tell us what is true for us based on all of the logic and reasonings, all of the programs that it's run through. Our minds know what's true for us, what's good for us, the steps to take to create the outcomes that we are holding. Our gifts are truly our brilliant minds. The way that we put puzzles together is unlike any other type. because we spend so much time in our heads, we have the opportunity to build and to work with and to understand people, experiences, the universe, the world, every type of set of information we can understand in a different way. We can take things apart and put them back together tenfold in a faster way than anybody else, because so much of our time is spent mental processing. We are a gift to the world through our intelligence, through our brilliance, through the way that we can explain things and speak things out so that it can help the physicals manifest, so that we can hold the outcomes as we magnetize, so that we can help the emotionals understand themselves and the spirituals understand how we can all be connected in this puzzle of a universe, of humanity, and how as a whole, we get to then evolve into something even greater. As a mental type myself, this information all came to me as a set of puzzles to figure out how to help people heal, how to help people be whole because of the experiences I went through. And I started to understand I couldn't help people the same way that I helped myself, because we don't all work the same. And so it's very important for a mental to recognize that not everybody thinks the way they do. And most of them know that. Most of them know that they think differently. Most of them know, and sometimes we believe we're the smartest person in the room. We might have the most mental processing, but we're not the same as everybody else. And that doesn't make us smarter. It just makes us a stronger mental processor versus somebody who is a stronger emotional processor. And so we've likely been successful in logical jobs, in technology fields, in doctor fields, in any type of experience where we've had to put a bunch of puzzles together and to understand something. But we've also had big challenges when it comes to connecting people on an emotional and spiritual level until we've been able to do the work. And if we've been physically disconnected from ourselves, then it's going to be very hard to bring things into fruition and magnetize the outcomes that we're holding in our minds. All right, I will see you on the next video.